So I want to talk about this Cam Newton. Specifically, I want to talk about his main chick, only chick, Jazz. I don't know what they have going on in particular, but I understand the dynamic from what I've seen just watching him through over the last few years. But I want to talk about this because he recently caught some heat for admitting that he stepped out of his relationship multiple times with Jazz. And this is what got him in hot water with the chicks online right now. Let's check it out.
As long as I've been with Jazz, Jazz has not been the only person that I've had sex with. Jazz allows me to speak to her and we are able to have banter. And I hate that I embarrassed her because no woman ever wants to admit that openly.
But what? I'm sorry, I want to make sure.
That their person has not always been with them. Only. What has allowed us to begin to get closer in a relationship is that I don't feel that she judges my action. She holds me accountable to my action. And she asks me certain things that, how can I do certain things to better so that this won't be a normalcy for you moving forward? I've never had nobody to really understand how I think. So there's been times where, okay, cool, we're keeping it above. Me and Jazz locked in where it's like, are you okay? No, babe, I'm feeling weak. Okay, what does that mean? Now, folks gonna sit up here and say, oh, she's stupid for doing that. She's giving me something that this is my friend, this is my confidant, this is my person that I go to for recharge. This is my place of refuge. I'm going to her and I don't have to hide nothing from her. And when I see the longevity of our relationship, I know that it's working. It's not that I'm taking advantage of her. If anything, she's giving me something that I've never.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
All right, so you guys heard the video for yourself. So since that video got published on social media, a bunch of chicks have made think pieces pretty much shitting on Jazz, his girl, and saying, how dare you? How could you let a man treat you like a rug? He's treating you horribly. How dare you stand up? You don't have any confidence. You don't have any self-esteem. How are you allowing a man to step out of the relationship multiple times and not only accepting him, but also taking this servitude, feminine approach to catering to this man like he is your husband, right? Plenty of chicks have made videos about exactly this. So I personally have a different perspective on this whole situation, and I think a lot of you guys will agree with me once you hear it. What is not being said here and is not being understood by a lot of chicks who are coming after Jazz, Cam Newton's main chick, side chick, maybe right now his only chick, who knows? But what's not being said here is the very obvious fact is that the only reason they actually know about what's happening in his life is because he has a podcast. And he has a podcast where he doesn't mind sharing his life experience. Now, some of you guys may look at that and say, well, that's dumb. Why would you share about your personal dating life and experience, especially if you know that a lot of people are going to judge your woman and call her slow for taking that type of a dynamic in her relationship? And I think there's an argument that could be made for that, right? Here's the thing. I'm not these people. I wouldn't live my life that way. I wouldn't personally value that type of relationship. With that being said, a lot of women who are looking down on someone like Jazz are seeing exactly what it's like to secure a man the best you can. Secure the type of man, if you're going to ever have the chance to be in her shoes, you're seeing what it looks like to secure a man of that caliber. These will be the same chicks who talk about how they all want a boss, a baller, a millionaire, a man who's paying all the bills, and they don't understand what that sometimes comes with. They don't understand that when you're dealing with men like Cam Newton, you're going to have to sometimes deal with sharing that man with other women. Again, I'm not saying that's how it should be. I'm not saying that's how Cam Newton should carry himself. That doesn't take away from the fact that that's the reality of the situation. I've disagreed with Cam Newton in his lifestyle of having multiple children outside of homes I don't care if you're talking about Elon Musk. I don't care if you're talking about Nick Cannon. I don't think that's healthy for the children overall. That's not what this conversation's about. What I'm saying is those women will turn around and say, I want a man who's as successful or highly successful, but they don't want to deal with what that comes with the majority of the time. And the majority of the time, these chicks are dealing with sharing these men. That's what they're dealing with. The reality is, if you give these women the type of men they claim they want and they claim they deserve, it'll be the type of guy who has access to multiple beautiful women, and they would be fighting tooth and nail to keep him. Oh, but Shisha, men who don't step out and have sexual discipline do exist. Yes, but it's not most men. You need the help of God. You need God's help to be able to stay in the path of the narrow and deny yourself. And even then, you will fall. The Bible says a righteous man falls 7 times. Even then, you might fall. I'm not saying that they don't exist, but that's a small majority. To be up there, to have that type of access, to be even in the top % of men who's highly attractive to most women, you're going to have to deal with preparing that there are other women who that man might deal with, not that he should deal with. And my point is that they're seeing it play out in that situation with their very own eyes, and they can't believe it. They're appalled. I would never do that. Yes, you would never do that, number one, because you probably would never get a man like that to bust his cheeks more than once or twice. All right, he's definitely not staying and changing his ways for you, because at the end of the day, you probably would think that you deserve better than him, better than that. And just to be clear, I have to keep saying this. This is not me endorsing the way that he's moving or the way that he's decided to move with this chick. I personally would not want to live my life that way. Again, and I have to keep saying this is not me saying he's doing the right thing. I'm saying he's doing what I know men who are in his shoes, what the majority of those dudes are doing. The difference is they're not going to risk ruining their reputation by getting online and sharing it with the rest of the people out there, which proves why Cam Newton said, hey, the truth is most women in her position don't want to be known as a woman in her position.
Why would a hyper-independent woman who used to get on here and tell us how to avoid toxic men, BS, narcissistic men, and all of that turn into a pick-me? Well, I will tell you exactly why Miss Jasmine Brown has turned into a pick-me, and it goes way beyond money, honey. Now, listen up. Jasmine Brown was getting older. She took a look around at her options and realized that she did not have too many qualified candidates and wasn't nobody really checking for her. Some women hit this stage in their life where they say, you know what? If I can't find a man who's going to treat me right, give me all the things that I want, change for me, I might as well get with a man with money. Even though she's beautiful, even though she's considered preferred, and y'all know exactly what I mean by preferred, does not mean that you are guaranteed to be anybody's wifey. Cam Newton even said himself that he is still out here looking for his wifey. He publicly embarrassed her by saying, yeah, I know I cheated on her and my bad for that, but she know what's up. She's playing her part. She is a battery. Batteries have like a 5-6 year expiration. Her time is almost up with him. Men like this will trade you in for a woman half your age in a few years and then tell you that you knew what it was when you met me. She knew what it was for sure. So when it happens, nobody's going to be sitting around crying for her because she decided to settle. Instead of staying prayed up, staying focused, and working on herself, she decided to take the easy way out and just do what half these women do when they are considered beautiful and preferred, and go find a man with money who will take care of their basic and everyday needs, buy them designer bags and all of that, but yet they are crying in the car because he's not picking up your phone call, or he doesn't even say thank you when you pack his lunch. He does not care. Because the easiest thing for a man to do when he has money is give you and send you money. Like it takes 2 seconds to press Cash App send. Women like her, they always lose in the end, unfortunately. And they will be right back on here talking about how men ain't no good and how she tried to be his everything. But we know what's going on. Her biological time clock was ticking. She was getting older. She didn't have any men in her circle really checking for her, really applying pressure. So she settled. And she gonna get what she want. A little bit of money. Will she ever get genuine love? We don't know. Probably not. Please understand that genuine love isn't something that is guaranteed to everybody.
Okay, so that's that. That's that video. Here's the thing. I agree with most of what this chick just said. I do. Except for one big flaw in her point, which is that Jasmine did not have genuine dudes who wanted her. No, I assure you, even till this day, there's a good guy somewhere who's making a decent living, just not millions, who would take her seriously for a relationship. That's the thing, man. Most of these chicks, they can get a man. But what's the problem? She couldn't get the man who she found economically attractive. And that's the mistake a lot of these chicks are going to continue to make. They're really looking at their future selves, if I'm going to be honest with you. And if you're a woman and you're looking at this and you're still part of the group who thinks, oh, finances is the number one thing in how economically attractive a man is that number one thing that's going to carry me in my relationship with him, and that's the number one thing I value, you're screwed. You are screwed, and you will end up in that exact same situation that she's in. Of course, guys, I'm curious to know, what do you think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you checking out yet another episode of Coffee Pot. Till next time. Bye-bye. Peace.